Here's a question. Who are the best four teams in college football? Is it relevant right now? I don't know. But we just got done, what is it, week 8? We should have a pretty good handle on things, all right? So here's how the AP has it. Ohio State, number 1. Indiana, number 2. Texas A&M, undefeated, the last remaining undefeated team in the SEC. Aggies at number 3. Alabama at number 4. Georgia at number 5. Here's how Coop has it. Ohio State, number 1. Indiana, number 2. Alabama, number 3. Oregon, number 4. First 2 out. Georgia and Texas A&M. And to me, it's all about best assortment of talent, quarterback position, and who are the play callers that you trust the most. And Ohio State, to me, seems like the most complete team in college football. I mean, they are rock steady from what they were last year, and defensively, with the addition of Arvell Reese and the way that he's playing, he might be one of the most pound for pound, one of the most talented players in all of college football. I'm doing NFL draft prep. Right now, you can make a pretty convincing argument that Arvell Reese is a top 3 most talented player in the NFL draft. People will scoff at that. I think in April that's going to show up. He's going to be a top 10 pick for sure. Bona fide. But Ohio State, the way that they have played, have they had that major test yet? Maybe not, but every opponent that they have faced until this point is reflective of doing what a team in their position is expected to do. And the quarterback has gotten confident and confident and confident week in and week out. And then you look at that receiving core and you're like, holy moly. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, embarrassment of riches. Bo Jackson on the ground. If you're a team that doesn't have quarterback mobility, which Ohio State does not, then that means the environment around you almost has to be nearly perfect. Ohio State has that. That's a needle that not a lot of teams can thread. Ohio State can do that. They have one of the best front offices in the country. And in terms of the alignment that they have between their head coach and their GM, it's one of the best. They can get away with it. Number 2, I have Indiana. The alignment of what they've identified in their locker room in terms of coachable assets in their players and guys that fit their system. Like it's like Fernando Mendoza might as well be Curt Cignetti out there playing quarterback. Seriously. I mean, the way that he processes the game, the timing, the anticipation, the accuracy, the ball placement, the effectiveness that these guys play. Indiana, I said, is arguably the most well-coached team in the country. That's why they went to Eugene and beat Oregon, a team that was, let's be honest, more talented than them. And it doesn't mean that Indiana doesn't have talent. It just means that the execution level that Indiana is playing with right now is insane. Defensively, I love watching them play. They're so assignment sound. They're one of the best open field tackling groups in the country. I love Indiana. And there are other teams out there that you don't want to face when they get hot. Ohio State was one of those teams last year. They're a two-loss team. Guess what? They turned it on when it matters, and then they ran to a national championship. Oregon, one of those teams right now. Hey, humble pie against Indiana. That's all right. Let's get back to business. They handled their business against Rutgers. Alabama loses against Florida State. What do great teams do? They get better and better every week. They instill confidence. There's not a hotter quarterback in the country right now than Ty Simpson, maybe other than Fernando Mendoza. Ty Simpson gives Alabama a shot every week. And the way that he plays allows Alabama to continue to develop positions along their defense as well. Young guys getting reps. Yanze Pierre playing at a high level. James Smith playing at a high level. Alabama starting to feel like Kalen DeBoer's version of Alabama. That's what I like about Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. The weird thing about college football is they lose the Florida State game, and then from there it's like identity crisis. Who are we? you know what? Let's stop trying to be someone else's program. Let's stop trying to be the Alabama of the overlords of college football when Nick Saban was running the show. Let's be Kalen DeBoer, Alabama, and let's go build that identity, and let's establish that week in and week out. And credit Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Kane Womack and the job that they've done. Give a lot of credit to Courtney Morgan as well. They've stayed the course in the faces of the headwind. And their team has rewarded them with belief, confidence, and development week in and week out. Alabama, for sure, is one of the most dangerous teams in college football. The other team I mentioned, Oregon. They got it all, man. And when I went back and I watched that Indiana game, I thought the 6 sacks that they gave up, 3 or 4 of them were on Dante Moore, and I actually thought they ran the ball well, especially on the interior against Indiana, which was an advantage. Their ability to run the football, establish both sides of the line of scrimmage, going to keep Oregon in it. And their coach, I've talked about it at length. You guys know how much I love and respect Dan Lanning. Hey guys, Coop here. We're going to get back to the video, but before we do that, help us grow the show by liking and subscribing. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps us a ton. We appreciate you being here. Let's get back to it. All right, 2 teams out. Georgia. I mentioned it earlier with Ole Miss. Georgia and Kirby Smart, I talk about the emulation of your head coach. You're just a reflection of your head coach. Georgia does not blink. If you're going to beat Georgia, you're going to have to go 12 rounds, lick for lick, and you're going to have to earn it. The only team that was capable of doing that this year, ironically, was Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. Georgia, once again, behind their quarterback, gritty as hell. Mike Bobo, another guy that's been challenged, both by media narrative, by fan base at Georgia. They show up big, man. It reminded me of 2014 Alabama when I worked there. And it's like you start winning these games and they're ugly, and now you got to outscore Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. And it's, we gave up, 500 yards and 35-plus points. It's not our standard. Trust me, I don't think Kirby Smart likes giving up as many yards as they gave up to Lane Kiffin. I don't think he likes giving up touchdowns on their first 5 possessions. I don't think he likes that. I know what he does like. The W. I think he likes that a lot. And Kirby Smart, that's what you preach, man. We talk about fourth quarter program, 60-minute program. Fourth quarter program that was instilled by Nick Saban at Alabama. Kirby has taken that from a psychological standpoint, and he's done a very difficult thing, and he's been able to emulate that in Athens. And when things get tough, those dogs, they just get stronger, man. They live for the deep end of the pool. They're sick like that. Some sick puppies. And Gunnar Stockton, overlooked, undersized. I was one of his biggest critics, man. One of his biggest critics coming out because he wasn't pretty and he wasn't 6'3". And guess Georgia's had all those dudes, by the way. They had Jacob Eason, they had Justin Fields, and it's Stetson Bennett and it's Gunnar Stockton at the end of the day. That seemed like the most effective guys that fit that program. Once again, 2 guys emulate their head coach, chip on their shoulder. And if you're Lane, I don't think you had a better shot at UGA than what you had this past weekend. And fourth quarter, it was like, let's go. Do not blink. Head coach, resiliency of this team, that gives them a chance. Georgia, another team I would not want to play. A&M, okay, who I'm still getting a feel on. Studied them earlier in the season. I thought the win in South Bend was so freaking gutsy. I thought they were going to be challenged by Florida. They really weren't. Toe-to-toe with Arkansas, we expected that game to kind of get a little wonky. Interim head coach Bobby Petrino is going to give you everything that he had. Defensively, I know they want to play better, but they have the talent to continue to improve. And guess what? Marcel Reed has been everything that you would hope he would be under Colin Klein. Not turning the ball over, playing very effective, can get it done on the ground, and still getting better week to week as a passer. Those are the teams, man. Teams I'm talking about find a way to win. They're talented teams that are capable of winning ugly. That's the differentiator. So those are my 6. If I had to pick a national champion, they would come out of that group, right? So let me reiterate: Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, Oregon, Georgia, Texas A&M. I think other teams that can get it going, and then all of a sudden we're talking about them very quickly again. Miami, margin of error is slim. They got to put it together. But Miami, when they're playing their best ball, they're a factor. Oklahoma, a healthy Mateer, that defense, Ben Arbuckle. They got to play better, but the way they bounce back against South Carolina, hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. John Mateer in the playoffs, would not want to see him. So those are my wild cards. Notre Dame would be another team. Nice gutsy win over USC. I like Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's a playoff team. Do they have what it takes to get back to the national championship this year? Probably not. Marcus Freeman, stud. Mike Denbrock, stud. They missed that guy down at LSU. Last thing I want to say, Kalen DeBoer, 19-3 against ranked teams, best record all time. Bama, 4 straight AP wins. It's just funny, man, because the first week of the season, you're like, this guy's not it. The fit's wonky. The narrative changes so quickly. It changes so quickly. Kalen DeBoer, I will make the example of, is a good football coach. He has won everywhere that he has been. I admit it. The fit there was a little bit wonky, but it seems like that turbulence that they have gone through will only sharpen them going forward. It seems like it's only made them better. And as long as they have that quarterback, as long as they have a Ty Simpson, as long as they have a Keelan Russell, as long as they have a Michael Penix, I'm good, man. Courtney can continue doing his thing. Alabama's going to be in it. They're a dangerous team. So there you have it. Top 4 teams of the country. The Fab 4 is kind of what I'll call them. We'll keep an eye on those guys. Should be a heck of a college football playoff.